When you put the throttle in and that engine spools up and that prop pulls you down the runway, that sensation never gets old. So there's just a thrill that that machine will run down that runway and climb away. And you're going somewhere you want to go and you're doing something you want to do. When we put that sticker on the blade at the end of the line, you know, we're saying to our customer, built right, built with care, checked many times, let's go flying. You know, from whence the Wright brothers came, so does Hartzell. And we began at the beginning of this industry.
The Hartzells and the Wrights were neighbors down in Oakwood, just outside of Dayton. The Wrights didn't want to be in the propeller business. They thought the Hartzells with their hardwood business could do it. They talked Robert into dropping out of University of Cincinnati and forming the prop company, which he did in 1917.
Well, there's something really powerful about the Hartzell family having the claim to founding the business. That's just so impressive to me, to create something from nothing and then to steward it for so long. I have incredible respect for what that family did, and therefore I feel a huge obligation to try to be worthy of that as the guy at the helm now with my brother. You know, I think we see ourselves as stewards.
The Hartzell family did a great job of running the business until they decided they weren't the right owners anymore, and they sold the business in the early 80s to TRW.
They brought in a president named Art Disbrow, who I think was enormously talented and a great teacher of mine.
And I think TRW had sort of more fun than they had hoped for, and after 6 or 7 years decided to get out of it, and that's when our family got involved in it.
When Jim Brown bought this company in '87, it's unbelievable how that build on honor took a hold of everybody that worked here. We never put a product out there that isn't top-notch.
Our propellers have taken airplanes to the highest heights, the furthest distances at the fastest speeds. And what that means in terms of the technology our folks have invented over the years is incredible to me.
Quality, performance, technology, Hartzell's such an integral part. It's hard to think of a Cirrus airplane without Hartzell. And I can only imagine the pride that must be among the employees and all the folks, the family of Hartzell, as they celebrate this century. What an outstanding event.
You can't do this job with as much appreciation as probably you ought to unless you get some exposure to these aircraft and the people who fly them. And so we have a flying club. What we're trying to do is we're trying to say, if you care about making this propeller and you want to know what happens to it when it leaves the factory, let's find a way to do that. And the flying club has graduated probably 30, 40 pilots over its existence, and you know, we're pretty proud of that.
Yeah, I mean, pilots are a very unique breed. They are deeply passionate about what they do, and they think about flying when they're not flying. They're planning flying when they're not flying. They're at their happiest when they are flying, and it makes it a very unique community.
It's a Piper Apache PA-23. It's a 1959. Hartzell props were put on in an installation that we did about 5 years ago, and I have had no issues. Wonderful props, none whatsoever. Great prop.
It's a 1962 Beech Super H-18. I've flown the 18s for years, and I've had the ham standards, Hartzell's and everything, but these props are the smoothest props I've ever had on an 18.
Flying the Extra 330 SC as violently as you do in competition aerobatics or in air shows like I do, you need the ultimate reliability. So for me, there's nothing better than the Hartzell Claw, which is really the propeller that changed the world for aerobatic airplanes.
Are you kidding me? Baby, it's the Claw. This thing, I tumble end over end 10, 15 times, pulling 9G, carbon fiber, composites. This is the best aerobatic propeller in the world.
It has such a great pulling power, acceleration, and more importantly for me is deceleration when we're in formation and doing aerobatics.
Reliability is just so important in our business because when we get to an air show for a weekend, we can't miss the show because we have a small propeller issue. It's built on honor, and it's an honor to sit behind a Hartzell propeller.
I'll tell you what, if you could pick any place in the world to build a factory, you pick Piqua, Ohio. I mean, the combination of deep family roots, the heritage of passing along family skills is present in our workforce every day.
I think when you walk people through the shop floor and they see our use of people and process and technology and the way we've merged them together, it blows them away. I've hardly ever had an experience where somebody doesn't leave and go, wow, that's really cool. They remark about the professionalism, but also the openness and the friendliness of the workforce. It gives off a vibe that I think is very tangible.
I have 2 daughters. My oldest daughter was on the prom planning committee, and she thought, hey Dad, the prom committee wants to know if we can have the prom at Hartzell. I thought, you want to have the prom where I work? Yeah. So we asked management and they said, yeah, you could do that. So then a few years later, my second daughter came along and she said the same thing. So there's been 2 proms here from my kids. I had a niece that got married here too.
They really do treat their workforce like a family. It's a small enough business that you know everybody and everybody pulls together.
You know, when you do something for 100 years in the same place, your roots are deep. Your sense of belonging to this place is deep. Your sense of commitment to it, and likewise its commitment to you is deep, and so this workforce is like family to us.
It's a great place to work. I've made a great living here. I'm proud to be here, and I like it so well. My son's been here for 25 years.
We have multiple families that have had, fathers and sons, or fathers and daughters, or brothers work together, and that sense of trust and respect and affection permeates the workforce as a result of that.
When there is a family standing behind, they never look at short term, they always look at long term. And companies go through bumps, and that's the difference between people that are too much committed to the short term and they may fail, and when you're on the long term, you never fail.
Jim Brown, back in the day, showed me the sticker on the propeller, built on honor. And I asked him, what's this? He says, well, we had a tradition. It was pride and workmanship from the worker, the craftsman, building the propeller. And we relied on his honor to do the right thing. Nowadays, there's all sorts of layers of quality assurance, which is very good. But the people that build these products build them with honor, the same way they did in the old days.
And it really implies that everybody is responsible for the quality of their work. It's survived 3 different ownerships in 100 years, and it means a lot to us. It means integrity.
If you build a washing machine or something, and if you're not real careful with its assembly or whatever, and 2 years down the road in somebody's house, it quits. Well, it quits. You call somebody up the next day and somebody comes to repair it. If something happens to that propeller and it comes apart, that's really bad stuff. And that's no washing machine. To me, the build on honor means you're building a product that you can stand your life behind because you have to.
It's magic to get to 100 years of anything these days and still be a key player in the industry. So it's really because they haven't stopped thinking about the future.
Every day, even now, we're continually asking ourselves, how can we be more efficient? How can we make a product that makes our customers more excited? What can we do to improve the safety of our product? It's so ingrained in our culture, it's kind of a daily thing anymore.
We're not happy just staying static. We're constantly developing new product. We're developing new processes. The machine shop is implementing a lot of new machining practices and robotics.
Our building is a learning environment. It's never going to be the same. It is today for one moment what it is, and tomorrow it's going to be something different. There's this organic view that we're never as good as we want to be.
Now remember, the dinosaurs became extinct because they failed to adapt. What Hartzell is doing now in terms of growing their company organically, presenting products that aviation companies are committed to because they know they're the best of breed, I can't wait to see what happens to the next 100 years.
let's go flying.